Here at road.cc, we're always looking out for the latest tech trends and what bikes might look like in the future. Will we see the continued rise of the Aero bike? Will lightweight bikes make a resurgence? Or will this new breed of do-it-all bikes reign supreme? I say new breed, there is actually one manufacturer that has said all along that this is the way to do it. They just so happen to be the most successful bike brand in Grand Tour history, and today we're at their headquarters in Italy to find out how they managed to predict the future. Welcome to Pinarello. This is the new Dogma F, and let's be honest, it has some rather large shoes to fill. In fact, 7 out of the last 13 Tour de France have been won on a Dogma. And what I want to know is what makes a team that could literally choose any bike, choose a Pinarello? Well, if you read the marketing blurb, then you'll read a lot about balance and how this Dogma is a culmination of years of experience and skill coming together in an engineering feat that combines handling, comfort, and aerodynamics, whether you're climbing, descending, or sprinting. Now, I've used this bike and it certainly is very good at all three, but how do you make one bike the right bike for every situation? To find out, we've got ourselves our very own design engineer, Massimo, and hopefully you can tell us what makes a good race bike.
It's a balance. It's a balance of different factors. So, safety, first of all, stiffness, reliability, the handling while descending. This is the reason why we are doing one bike that fit all, in order to perform well everywhere on every road.
And how did you go about designing the new Dogma? Was it a case of taking the bike that you've got and changing bits, or was it a completely clean slate?
We never start from scratch, let's say. We start always from the current project. And we need to combine both in the engineering side, so improve the engineering side, improve the number of the bike, aerodynamics, weight, stiffness, and the design of the bike to give to the bike a story behind.
Form and function, I guess.
Form and function. Yeah. Or function and form.
In that order. To find out more about where bikes are going in the future, sometimes it's useful to look to the past. And luckily for us, there's no shortage of race-winning bikes lying about. There's bikes in here dating right back to the 1960s, when Pinarello started sponsoring racing teams. But really, I think that this is where we can trace the Dogma's lineage back to. This is Miguel Indurain's Espada. It was designed in the wind tunnel and made from carbon fibre. Nothing like the round steel tubes that had gone before it. Of course, that's now commonplace, but did you know it was Pinarello and a Lamborghini engineer, Marco Ghiacci, who brought this kind of technology to the world of cycling? It soon became clear though that even road bikes needed to be light and aero. And so this was Pinarello's answer, the first Dogma, the FP. This is Pereiro's world champs winning bike, but Valverde also used a similar one in the year that he topped the UCI world rankings, won Liège, then he won the Dauphiné, then the Vuelta, and got the yellow jersey at the Tour de France. This one here though might just be my favourite. This is the Dogma 2, a bike synonymous with Team Sky and ridden by none other than Mark Cavendish. Obviously, this marked the start of a new chapter for Pinarello. Their bikes would have never been under more scrutiny. And in the pro peloton, Cav isn't just known for being the most successful sprinter of all time, but also extremely particular about the kit that he uses. It's pretty high praise then when he said that the Pinarello F2 was the perfect frame when asked what could be improved upon. Improve upon it Pinarello did though, taking this winning recipe and with each generation evolving it, tweaking it here and there, using updated materials and previous learnings as they did so. The F8 is perhaps the most famous race bike since the turn of the century. Take a look at the nose cone on this one, something that is now imitated across the peloton in the hunt for marginal gains. Admittedly, this one has seen better days. This is the bike that a motorbike crashed into the back of and forced Chris Froome to continue on foot. The F10 kept the wins coming. The F12 proved that disc brake bikes could indeed win on the world's toughest mountain stages. And then the Dogma F came along. This one Gianni Moscons from Paris-Roubaix. This is a bike that our reviewers described as a zenith of contemporary road bike design and performance. A bike with indisputable credentials, and yet one which managed to stick to its heritage. It didn't follow the same mould as everything else, and most of all, it's undoubtedly Pinarello. And that brings us to the here and now. This is the new Dogma F, the latest in a long line of carbon Pinarello race bikes, and I'm allowed to go and ride it. Where better than right here, its birthplace, Treviso. Although this latest bike does look quite similar to the generation before it, look a bit closer and you'll realise that basically nothing on this bike is the same. The head tube is obviously deeper here, but it's less obvious that this whole down tube is slimmer. Without riding it, you might not realise that the carbon layup has completely changed. This one uses a higher tensile modulus carbon to boost lateral stiffness. The seat post clamp has moved. The bottom bracket has been tilted 3 degrees for a 1% improvement in BB Aero performance. There's a new Talon Aero bar. By themselves, these are minor changes, but when you take one of the best road bikes in the world and improve it by 1% here and 1% there, well, that's what makes a Pinarello a Pinarello. That's what I think makes a Pinarello anyway. But what does Pinarello think makes a Pinarello a Pinarello? Let's go and find out.
First of all, it's history. I think we are, one of the brands out there with the longest and, more interesting history from the foundation of the company, which is over 70 years ago, from the, goal of the owner, of the founder to become, from his past of being a cyclist, not a very successful one actually, as you might know, but to build a company, to build first a shop and then a factory, to be able really to create those bikes that helped some of the greatest champions of our sport to succeed. More than 30 Grand Tour winners, 15 Tour de France, which is by far the biggest number. And that's the continuous relationship between athletes, team, and our R&D team, but also that created this possibility, because our goal really is to build, and has always been the same. Let's make the best bike that helps the best riders as well as any rider to get the best performance out of all the situations they're going to find on a ride. We think we are the company who creates like dream bikes. That is something extra rather than performance, design, colors. It's the whole package. Back in the days, Pinarello was a manufacturer of frames, still is. So we designed, created, painted our frames. Obviously, in the past 20 years, this has been changing a bit because of carbon fiber technologies, but we still kept in-house what has been always super important for us, which is this finishing, painting of these beautiful bikes that we do, especially all our Dogma range. Still 100% painted and finished in Italy. And we don't do it as a one-time only, like special athlete bike. We do it for every consumer. That's also, I think, something which is pretty unique for Pinarello.
Why is this new Dogma F the perfect road bike in your eyes?
I mean, as you probably everybody understand, it's an evolution, it's a continuous evolution. Dogma has been the bike franchise launched more than 20 years ago, starting from magnesium, then moved from magnesium to carbon, and then carbon monocoque, and evolution of technologies. In all this year, Dogma has been, even its name tells it, like the bike to do everything, which is quite unique. I mean, now it's more common. All brands.
There's lots of people trying to imitate that, should we say?
But we always thought, as I said, by this deep connection we have with the athletes and with the teams, trying to do really what they ask, has always been to try to make that package of a bike. The new Dogma F is obviously an evolution of our concept. So is it not a drastic innovation? There's nothing like crazy designs or crazy solution, but it's a continuous evolution. Readers of articles online especially joke, sometimes even not very friendly, about this little 0.2, 0.3% improvement, which I understand sounds not significant, but at the end, when you ride the bike and you are, of course, willing to invest the money that bike costs, you're definitely going to notice the difference. And it's a pretty significant one. We had fun at this year Tour de France. We were supposed to debut the bike. Like, nobody would have seen it. We obviously supplied the bike to the Tour de France team a few weeks before to test, and then after the first ride, they decided they would have raced starting from tomorrow with the bike,
Yep.
which spoiled us a little bit our launch. So we had some troubles with the mechanics and with the teams, but it was not negotiable. They really liked much more the bikes, and they said, starting from next week, we're gonna race on it, whether you like it or not. And that's what happened actually. But it's part of the game.
And there is a lot of absolutely iconic bikes in here. If you had to choose one, which one would it be?
I guess it's that one on top.
Yes,
it's my favorite kid's bike, and it was. I'm on my 45s, not that young anymore, but yeah. When I was a kid, I was a huge cycling fan, and I still have the memories of me getting the rain on the TT, passing 3, 4, 5 people on each stage of TT with that bike. So that's by far my favorite.
Before riding the Dogma, I must admit, I didn't necessarily understand the hype. I thought that surely to have one bike for every situation, it would naturally have to compromise. I thought that it would be heavier than a climbing bike. I thought that it would be less aero than an aero bike. And I thought that the engineers had gone for form over function with this on the curve. Having ridden it though, I now get it. It's all about that balance. It is what a race bike should be, able to cope with whatever situation you throw at it. This latest Dogma F doesn't care that it looks quite similar to the old one. Pinarello doesn't care that it doesn't look like anything else on the market. All they care about is that it's deserving of the Pinarello name. A name that is written into the history books of bike racing forever. And who knows what new chapters this latest incarnation will write. To find out more about Pinarello or to design your dream bike, then click the link in the description below. Let us know which one of these lovely bikes you'd most like in your garage in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the road.cc channel for lots more tech deep dives, and we'll see you next time.